Welcome everybody once again. So we have completed our four modules and today we are going to start the fifth module. So this is our first class for module 5. So module 5 is a part of gradually varying flow or non-uniform flow. Gradually varying flow is a type of non-uniform flow that we have discussed in the previous classes. So today we are going to see about specific energy and specific energy curve. So what do you mean by specific energy? We know the energy when a water is flowing through a channel or a pipe, the energy will be equal to P by rho G plus V square by 2G plus Z, where P by rho G is the potential energy head, V square by 2G is the kinetic energy head, and Z is the datum head. Now we replace this P by rho G by H, and Z as Z, and V square by 2G is V square by 2G. So this P by rho G is replaced by H, that is the depth of water, and that will be taken as EP, potential energy. V square by 2G is the kinetic energy. Okay, so we know we have studied this concept earlier in I think in module 3. So the total energy of a flowing liquid per unit weight is given as E equal to, E means energy, total energy is equal to Z plus H plus V square by 2G. Datum head plus potential energy head plus kinetic energy head. Z means datum head, H is nothing but P by rho G. So that is equal to potential energy head, and V square by 2G is kinetic energy head. So Z is the height of the bottom of the channel above datum. We will see that. So H is the depth of liquid and V is the mean velocity of flow. So if you are considering a channel like this, so this is the channel. So this is your channel bottom. So we will take the datum like this. So this can be our datum line. So when you take any cross section, the datum head will be taken from the datum. Okay, that is the distance of channel bottom from the datum. That is Z. See, that is what you have said, what I have told you here. Z is equal to height of bottom of the channel above datum. So height of bottom of the channel above the bottom or above the datum is taken as Z. Now, see, this is your free water surface. You will have the water is flowing like this. So this is the free water surface. This line. So this is the free water surface. So what is H? H is the depth of liquid, that is potential energy head P by rho G, that is depth of the liquid. So depth of the liquid is this. So this is your H. Okay. Now we have one more term in the total energy, that is V square by 2G. That is nothing but the kinetic energy head V square by 2G. So how can we draw the kinetic energy head? We will draw it like this, right? So that is not constant. It depends on the velocity, right? So not parallel to this line, some lines, a straight line. Okay. So this is V square by 2G. This distance is V square by 2G. So total energy is equal to Z plus H plus V square by 2G. Datum head plus potential energy head plus kinetic energy head. Okay. So this is the diagram for specific energy or total energy per unit weight, total specific energy per unit weight. Okay. Now, if Z is taken as the channel bottom, if the channel bottom is taken as the datum, see here now this is the datum. So if you are considering the channel bottom as the datum, then Z becomes 0. So if Z becomes 0, our total energy will be equal to H plus V square by 2G. So that total energy when datum head is equal to 0 is called specific energy. Specific energy. Okay. So if the channel bottom is taken as the datum, Z is equal to 0. So E, that is total energy, will be equal to H plus V square by 2G. So this total energy when datum head is equal to 0 is called specific energy. So specific energy of a flowing fluid or flowing liquid is defined as energy per unit weight of the liquid with respect to the bottom of the channel. Bottom of the channel. Okay. Now, we will move on to specific energy curve. So you understood what is a specific energy. It is nothing but the potential energy plus kinetic energy. Now we will try to draw the curve, specific energy curve. So curve which shows the variations of specific energy with respect to depth of flow. So y-axis will be the depth of flow and x-axis will be the specific energy. So you have to draw a curve with respect to the variation in specific energy with respect to the depth of a flow. So that curve is called a specific energy curve. So this specific energy curve will be a combination of the potential head H and the velocity head V square by 2G. Okay. So because H is constant, so H will be drawn like this, which makes an angle of a 45 degree with the specific energy. So we will see it in detail. So E is equal to H plus V square by 2G. So H is potential energy and V square by 2G is kinetic energy. Okay. Where is that? Okay. Ek is the kinetic energy. So Ep is the potential energy of a flow represented by H and Ek is the kinetic energy of flow represented by V square by 2G. Now, let us consider a rectangular channel in which a steady but non-uniform flow. Steady means we know dou V by dou T will be equal to 0. Non-uniform flow means dou V by dou S, that is the variation of the flow properties with respect to the space is not equal to 0. That is called a non-uniform flow. So we are considering a rectangular channel in which a steady but non-uniform flow is taking place. Now let Q be the discharge through the channel. You are taking a rectangular channel of rectangular cross section. So let B be the width of the channel. Okay, so this will be B. B be the width of the channel. H is the depth of a flow. Okay. Small q be the discharge per unit width of the channel. Discharge per unit width. So if the total width is B, how will you find the discharge per unit width? You have to divide the total discharge by the total width. You will get discharge per unit width. Okay. See, for example, if you have a total distance of 4 meters. Okay. Some load of total load on this 4 meter is taken as P. How will you, so total load is P. So P is acting in 4 meters. So how will you take load per unit weight? That will be P by 4. So that you will get what is the load per unit length. Similarly, if Q is the discharge, total discharge, and small q is the discharge per unit width of the channel. So discharge per unit width will be equal to total discharge divided by the total width of the channel. So total width is B. So Q, small q is equal to total discharge, capital Q by small b. That is the width. Capital Q is the total discharge, small b is the width of the channel, and this will be equal to constant. Now, so V is the velocity of a flow. So we know velocity of flow, velocity is equal to discharge by area of the channel, cross-section area of the channel. So V is equal to Q by A, Q by area is taken as BH. Width into depth of flow. So it is B into H. So we replacing this Q. We know this is small q. Discharge per unit width of flow is Q by B. So replacing this Q by B by small q, we get velocity of flow V is equal to Q by H. Now, the specific energy E is equal to, we know that H plus V square by 2G. So, H plus V is replaced by Q by H. So, Q square by. So, V square is equal to Q square by H square. So, we get specific energy E is equal to H plus Q square by 2GH square. So, that is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. So, potential energy is the height H, depth of flow, and kinetic energy is Q square by 2GH square. Now, so this equation, that is specific energy is equal to H plus Q square by 2GH square gives the variation of specific energy E with respect to depth of flow. So, E is specific energy, depth of flow is H. So, now we can draw the variation of specific energy with respect to the depth of flow. So, for a given discharge Q is the total discharge. So, for a given discharge Q, for different values of depth of flow. So, for different values of H, the corresponding values of E may be obtained. So, for discharge, for a given discharge, if the depth of flow is varying, let us see what is the value for specific energy E. So, for that we will draw the graph. So, how can we draw the graph? So, as I have told you earlier, we will draw x-axis represents the specific energy. Okay. So, x-axis represents the specific energy represented by capital E, and y-axis represents the depth of a flow. So, thus y-axis is the depth of a flow represented by H. So, H is varying. So, that variation is marked as like this. Okay. So, this line represents H, that is the potential energy EP, that is equal to H. This makes an angle of 45 degree with the specific energy or horizontal. See, our aim is for different values of H, what is the specific energy. So, now we have varied the values of H. Okay. So, potential energy is over. Now, we will draw the kinetic energy. So, kinetic energy is Q square by 2GH square. So, that means, so this is EK. This means this will be a parabola, parabolic equation. So, it will be drawn like this, right? So, we will draw this. So, your kinetic energy will be like this. So, this line represents EK, kinetic energy, that is equal to Q square by 2GH square. Now, we know specific energy is equal to EP plus EK. Potential energy plus kinetic energy. So we will add these both. So adding these both, our total energy will be like this. That is our specific energy curve. Okay. So this will be our specific energy curve. So this curve is called specific energy curve. Okay. Now we will see what is critical depth, another term called critical depth. So critical depth is represented by HC. It is nothing but the depth of flow of water at which the specific energy is minimum. So see, this is the specific energy curve. So the specific energy is minimum at this point. So we will mark this point as C. So this point C is called the critical point, and the depth at this critical point is called critical depth. Okay. So this depth, you have a depth here, right? So this depth is called the critical depth, HC. Okay. Now, how will we find the critical depth? What is the critical depth? So we know at critical depth, the specific energy is minimum. The condition is the specific energy is minimum. So we know the specific energy is equal to H plus Q square by 2G H square. So for minimum specific energy, so for specific energy to be minimum, the differentiation of specific energy with respect to the depth should be equal to 0. So what we get is, so from this what we get is d by dh of h plus q square by 2g h square is equal to 0. From which we get 1 plus differentiation of h with respect to h is 1. Now differentiating this value q square by 2g. Q square by 2g is constant. For 1 by h square, the differentiation is minus 2 by h cube. Is equal to 0. So from which we get 1 minus so you can cancel this 2 and 2. So we get 1 minus q square by gh cube is equal to 0. From which we get 1 is equal to q square by gh cube, or h cube is equal to q square by g. Okay. So from which we get h is equal to cubic root of q square by g. So q square by g, the whole raised to 1 by 3. So this depth is called the critical depth. So critical depth HC is equal to this is replaced. This H is replaced by HC for critical depth. So critical depth is equal to Q square by G, the whole raised to 1 by 3. That is the cubic root of Q square by G. This is called the critical depth. Similarly, we will see what is the critical velocity. So we know critical velocity is the velocity of flow. V means velocity. Critical velocity means the velocity at the critical depth. So velocity at critical depth is known as critical velocity. So mathematically, we know the critical depth HC is equal to Q square by G the whole raised to 1 by 3. Now, so from which you can take the cube on both sides, we get HC cube is equal to Q square by G. So from which we get GHC cube is equal to Q square. Now we know Q is equal to total discharge by the width, right? And this Q, okay, I will write it here. We know Q is equal to capital Q by B. Now what is discharge? Discharge is equal to velocity into area divided by B. Discharge is velocity into area. So velocity into area is breadth into height of flow, depth of flow divided by B. So we get VH. So Q equal to VH. Replacing V as the velocity, critical velocity. Okay, we will replace it after finding the critical velocity. Okay, now we will take this equation. Okay, so from equation 1 you get G into HC cube is equal to, Q is replaced by VH. So Q square is equal to V square H square. So V is replaced by VC, H is replaced by HC in order to show this as critical depth. So from which we get VC is equal to square root of G into HC. Okay, you can cancel this 3, this 2. So we get VC is equal to G into square root of G into HC. This is called the critical velocity. Now, what is the minimum specific energy in terms of critical depth? We know what is the specific energy, right? Now, let us see what is the minimum specific energy. So, we know the specific energy E is equal to H plus Q square by 2GH square. So, when the specific energy is minimum, we will replace E by E minimum. For minimum specific energy, depth will be equal to critical depth. So, plus Q square by 2GHC square, because depth will be equal to the critical depth. Now, we know HC is equal to Q square by G the whole raised to 1 by 3. Critical depth is equal to Q square by G the whole raised to 1 by 3. So, substituting this value. So, from this we will get HC cube is equal to Q square by G. Okay. So, substituting the value for HC in this equation, we get E minimum is equal to HC plus HC cube by 2HC square. You can substitute, you will get this, okay. So, that will be equal to 3HC by 2. So, which means for the specific energy to be minimum, the depth should be equal to 3 by 2 times. minimum specific energy will be equal to 3 by 2 times of the critical depth. Next, what is critical flow? So critical flow is the flow at which the specific energy is minimum or the flow corresponding to critical depth. So we know the critical velocity Vc will be equal to square root of G into Hc, that is critical depth. So from this we get Vc by square root of G into Hc is equal to 1. And this Vc by root of GHC is called Froude number. Okay. So Vc by root of GHC is called Froude number. Now, for critical flow, see, this is the condition for critical flow, right? So this is the condition for critical flow. So the condition is for critical flow, the Froude number Vc by root of G into Hc should be equal to 1. This is the condition for the flow to be critical. Now, based on this Froude number, we can classify the flow as a streaming flow, that is a subcritical flow, and supercritical flow. We know for critical flow, Froude's number is equal to 1. For subcritical flow, it is also known as a streaming flow or tranquil flow. The Froude number, so we know Froude number is equal to Vc by square root of G into Hc. So this Froude number will be less than 1 for subcritical flow. It is also known as a streaming flow or tranquil flow. Now for supercritical flow, the Froude's number, that is equal to V by square root of G into Hc, will be greater than 1. Then the flow is called supercritical flow or shooting flow or torrential flow. Now let us see what is called alternate depths. Alternate depths. That is, in specific energy curve, except for critical depth, for any other value for specific energy, there are two depths, one greater than the critical depth and the other smaller than the critical depth. So these two depths for a given specific energy is called alternate depths. So you can see in the diagram, you can see in the specific energy curve. Okay. So this point C represents the critical point. So this depth is called critical depth. So at this minimum specific energy, we will have only one depth called critical depth, that is equal to Hc. So if you take any other points, if you take this point, there will be two depths, right? So there is one depth is this, another depth is this. Okay, one depth is this, another depth is this. If you take a point here, we will have, this is one depth and this is another depth. So this is called H1 and H2 or H1 and H2. So these are called alternate depths. So we will mark this now. Now let us consider this point. Let us take this point as H and this point as G. Okay. So we have two depths. So this depth is H1 and this depth is H2. So this H1 and H2 are called alternate depths. Okay, so this H1 and H2 are called alternate ducts. So that's all for today. And in the next class, we will be discussing about what is the maximum discharge for a given specific energy value, what is hydraulic jumps, etc. So that's all for today. Thank you.